Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back. So we are now looking at section B, the reading comprehension. So before we're having more of a conversation-based course or lesson, shall we say. So now we're having a reading comprehension yet again, and then we're going to be studying synonyms. Okay, so let's read the instructions above. 1.1. Read the statements below the text and pay attention to the words and phrases in bold. And then the next instruction, 1.2, read the text and find a synonym for every highlighted word or phrase. Okay, so let's have a read of this particular reading passage. Friends for Life is the title. So remember, listen to how I pronounce these words compared to how you pronounce them. The words, and pay attention to my usage and intonation. If there are any words that you come across that you don't understand, ensure that you familiarize yourself with the definition and meaning so you have a broader understanding of the reading comprehension. Okay, so I'd advise you read first, listen to me read first and then you read after, or whichever way you prefer actually. So next, let's get started. The concept of trained dogs acting as eyes for those who could not see developed at the beginning of the 20th century in Germany in an unusual school. The pupils were not humans, but dogs who were taught how to lead people who were blind. The idea caught on quickly, and guide dogs, or seeing eye dogs as they are also known, began to be trained in many countries. They are now a familiar sight. These patient and loyal animals lead their blind companions everywhere they go, giving them the possibility to make their way in the world almost as well as sighted persons. Not every breed of dog makes a good guide. Seeing eye dogs must be alert at all times. So dogs that are not attentive are not suitable. Labrador retrievers, German shepherds, and boxers make excellent guides because they are smart, easy to train, and usually get along well with people. During its training, the dog is taken to many kinds of busy places. This is to get it used to anything that might happen. A dog is trained in large stores, noisy airports, and crowded restaurants. It rides on buses and in taxis. It is pushed and poked, and it learns to ignore anything that might cause its attention to wander. The seeing eye dog is responsible for steering its owner carefully past any obstacles. On busy sidewalks, the dog must skillfully weave its way around other pedestrians to make sure its owner doesn't get pushed. A guide dog has to stop to tell its owner to take a step up or down. But even though it learns to be obedient, a guide dog is also taught that sometimes it must disobey. For example, if its owner tells it to cross the street when a car is coming, it won't move until it is safe to cross. While it is being trained, a guide dog is never punished for making a mistake. Instead, it is being encouraged to do better by being rewarded when it behaves correctly. So when the training is complete, a guide dog is assigned to its new owner. The two of them need to be compatible because they will be together for a long time. The size, weight, and nature of both are taken into account. A heavy-set person might be more comfortable with a large dog, while a person who spends most of the day inside probably will not want to be matched with a frisky dog that needs plenty of exercise. From the beginning, a strong bond needs to form between the dog and the owner. Okay, so the idea about seeing eye dogs was born in Germany. That's where the concept was developed. Alright, okay, so without further ado, let's get down to the activity here. So we read 1.1. Reading 1.1 was basically reading this article, this reading passage. Now with 1.2, we have to look at the highlighted words. We have to read out the sentence and then focus on the highlighted words and provide synonyms for each of these words. So a synonym is a word that has relatively the same meaning. Okay, number 1. Originally, dogs were pupils in an out-of-ordinary school. Okay, out of ordinary, we can say extraordinary. That's another synonym for that. So I'd love to know what synonym you came up with when you saw the word out of ordinary. Okay, number 2. The idea spread fast around the world. So another synonym that we could use here, spread fast, it quickly gained momentum around the world, or it was contagious. Okay, so I'd like to know what synonym you provided by number 2. Number 3, dogs are calm and trustworthy animals. So we can say for calm, we can say tranquil, peaceful, and trustworthy, we can say reliable. Okay. Alright, then number 4. 3 breeds of dogs are easy to train and make excellent guides. So instead of saying 3 breeds of dogs, we can say 3 types of dogs, or 3 kinds of dogs, or 3 special kinds of dogs, whatever however you want to phrase it. So I'd love to know what you came up with there. That would be interesting. Then number 5. Dogs are trained in different crowded places. So different crowded places. Okay, different crowded, we can say various populations or various different groups. Something along those lines. Okay, so you come up with your own synonym there. Is it the same or is it different from mine? Number 6. The dog is taught not to pay attention to the surrounding people and things. So, not to pay attention, not to recognize, not to observe, not to attend to. Okay, so I just gave 3 synonyms there. So, you come up with your own. Are they the same or different from mine? Compare and contrast. Number 7. When walking on streets, the dog must skillfully walk. Skillfully walk, we could say tactfully stroll. Okay, tactfully stroll. Okay, so what would you say in exchange for these 2 words? I'd love to hear that. Number 8. Whenever there is any change in the level of the sidewalk, the dog has to warn its owner by stopping. So whenever there's any change in the level of the sidewalk, so maybe we can say when there are different variations in the levels of the curb. So we can call the sidewalk the curb as well. Then the dog has to warn its owner. We can say the dog has to alert its owner. Okay, so you come up with your own words there, right? So are they similar or are they the same? Number 9, the seeing eye dog doesn't have to obey its owner at any time. You can say the seeing eye dog doesn't need to follow instructions, doesn't need to follow its owner's instructions or its master's instructions. Okay, then come up with your own over there. Number 10, the dog has to behave right to be rewarded. So we could say, I would say here, the dog has to act accordingly. So act accordingly would be a synonym for these two words. You can come up with your own. Number 11, the dog and its owner have too much in size, weight, and to match. Didn't see that properly. So the dog and its owner have to match in size, weight, and nature. The dog and its owner have to match. Let's see. We can say the dog and its owner have to relate or have to be relatively the same. Or we can say, I would use those synonyms. If you can come up with more, great. Okay, number 12. A good relationship between the owner and the dog should be established from the beginning. So a good relationship, a great partnership, a great bond. We could use those synonyms. Okay, then you come up with your own. Alright, so we are complete with this specific page, section B, Reading Comprehension. So over here you learned how to find synonyms for words and phrases by reading their meaning within the context of the sentence. And also you practice your reading skills too. Alright, so I will see you in the next lesson. See you soon.